Right, welcome to episode 90 of the Zines and Roger Crochet vlogcast, or podcast if you will, but it's a video, so it's a video log, weblog of what I've been doing, therefore vlogcast. Long time no see, it's been a while. I hope you've got your crochet or knitting or whatever you're working on so you can sit and have a chat with me while I go through what I've been up to over the last few weeks while I've been absent without leave, missing in action. Let's just get, I don't have a preamble chat in me right now. I don't think. I've tried a couple of times and it's failed, so let's just get started. Yeah, I hope you're well. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Subscribe. Let's get that out of the way. If you haven't already, it would be very much appreciated. Thank you. So I have my list of things to talk about. I may flounder somewhat because I'm still under the weather. I've still got a cold, essentially. It's nothing major, but it's day 10. It's stupid. It's not going away. I've got my list of things to talk about. My makes, my finished objects and my works in progress. I'm not going to show you everything today. I'll try and save some stuff for in a couple of weeks because I don't want to leave it so long. It's been ages. What shall I talk about first? Well, I'm working on, I don't know whether to do, I really don't, it's been so long I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do it. Okay, I tell you what, yesterday I just had something on my nose. I hope there wasn't a bogey on there. Didn't feel like a bogey, but I've just knocked something off my nose. Yesterday I was sewing in ends of a new bag. Very popular at the moment. There were so many ends, it was ridiculous. So many ends. But what I've done is make lots of granny squares, and then on Pinterest you can quite often see the layout of granny squares to make bags like this. So I just followed one of those and I've made myself a granny bag without handles, because I was going to ask your opinion, but I think actually I don't need it. I've made up my mind. What I did consider was this, right? But then I looked at it and went, no, it's not the right aesthetic. Just because I'm a lazy so-and-so does not mean to say I should be able to get away with just banging on these handles. It's not part of the aesthetic. I need to crochet the handles to give it the proper style that it is. Pure laziness means that I was going to ask whether or not you thought I could get away with ready-made handles, but actually, do you know what? Having had a look at it this morning and just eye up whether or not I want them, it's not the right choice. So these will just be kept for something else. Before you ask, they're just from Amazon. No, yeah, Amazon or Etsy or somewhere like that. You can Google bag handles and that's the sort of thing that comes up, or bag straps. I got these ones at the same time and I did put those on. So I was going to stop drinking my tea, but it's still too hot. These ones I am quite pleased with, and I think they do work with this bag. Not that I've actually used it yet, but they are I mean, they're quite chunky for a flimsy, loose draped cottony bag, but I just really like the yellow with the coral and the and the grey. So I'm giggling because this sounds really stupid, but my comfort to watch on TV at the moment is The Walking Dead, and it reminds me of all those memes that they had. So this colour coral. If you've seen The Walking Dead and seen those memes about coral, then you know what I'm talking about. That is another finished object, by the way, that is just a pattern I made up. It's not a written pattern at the moment, but I am considering doing it. Do I go off on that tangent? Not sure yet. Oh, go on then. Let's go off on this tangent before I go back to talking about the other bag. I would like to write this up because I really like it. I think it works as a bag. It's a good stitch pattern. I'm not sure. I mean, it's got a round bottom, okay. And then when you put things in it, it obviously would be. I mean, it's a good size shopper. But I did wonder about whether or not to just make it 2 rectangles and sew them together. I don't know. I like the round bottom. And then what I'm planning on doing, potentially, but not anytime soon, would be to maybe do a video tutorial to accompany a written pattern, and then make it out of this stuff, which is Raffia. This one I have not used yet. It is a generic Raffia from Amazon, which I know I probably shouldn't do. It's probably not very eco or ethical, but it's half the price of all the other raffias that you can get. You can pretty much only get the Rah Rah Raffia from Wool and the Gang, which is available from lots of different online retailers, but it's £15 for one of those things, whereas this was about £7 from Amazon. And I just wanted to do a comparison and see, and I wanted to see whether or not one of these would make one bag. I bought 2, so would it make one bag, or would I need more than one roll? So that's something I've got on my list of things to do. Yeah, we'll see. It's one of those things that you look at every now and again and you want to make a start straight away, but there's other stuff on the go. I've been working on a big commission. When I say big, I just mean the make itself was enormous. It's a blanket. It's taken me about 4 weeks to do, and that's why I'm wearing this as well. I really wanted it finished this week, and to do that I had to really kind of crank out the crochet at quite a considerable speed for at least a couple of days. It turns out that's not it's not a great idea. Every now and again I've got to get out this wrist support, and it's brilliant. I bought it off Tinternet, and it was only it's less than a tenner, but it's really effective and it really helps with the RSI, which I don't often get. And it's probably why I got it, is because these days I don't do hours and hours of crochet in one session, and I did for this. I'll talk to you about that in September, I think. I'll go back to the other blanket. Hang on. No, bag. So anyway, that was a train of thought I wasn't necessarily going to go down, but I was just sort of showing handles, and they work on this bag. They're not going to work on this bag. So I shall probably frog back this edge, just the top bit from here to here, and redo it, but instead of going up and over, I shall go up and then carry on with some foundationless half trebles, half DCs, US speak, and then come back down again and then go bloop, bloop, and then again bloop, bloop. I think that'll work. It probably won't work actually, will it? I'll have to go bloop and then down and rejoin to this side and then fill in this hole afterwards. I think. It's not working up here very well at the minute. But yes, this was never going to be a bag anyway. So I don't know if you can spot it, but you will see that these joins do not go across perpendicular. They don't. That's because I worked strips as join as you go, thinking that I was going to make a top, and then I made two sets of strips to begin a granny square top. I did a panel in the middle and everything. I looked at it and went, nope, don't like it, it's not going to work. And one of the main beefs I had with it was that the granny squares were too in your face with too much bright colours. So rather than frog bag any work, I just went, oh, I'll put them into a bag. So that's when I kind of went, oh, I know what kind of bag I want. How do you put it together? I'm too lazy to do lots of half squares. And then I thought, I'm pretty sure I've seen layouts on Pinterest, and sure enough, on Pinterest there's loads of things like that. I've probably saved them on some of my boards, so I'll try and leave a link in the show notes. So let me start the rest of the story, finish the story, by saying what I wanted to do. I really want a cup of tea though, hang on. It's raining outside, yet loads of people are out and about. And I think they're all really excited because it's the football day today. It's the Euro final for England. Will I watch it? I don't know. I guess I should really, but I'm not that fast. The tennis is on right now, and I've just watched the first set. And again, it's just like, how long can you spend watching somebody just hit a ball back and forth? I quite like it though. It turns out you can watch it for quite a while, but I've dragged myself away. I've got stuff to do, got people to talk to. So anyway, this book you'll know if you've watched my previous podcast episodes, because I've talked about this before. It is called Romantic Crochet by Emma Escott, and the top I wanted to make in it was this one. Ooh, sorry. So that's the kind of thing I'm going for. You'll notice I didn't actually follow the pattern at all. I haven't started yet because obviously mine are just, they were more colourful and more rounds of colour, whereas Emma's got flowers in the centre of the granny squares in her top. But I kind of went too far the other way with the colour, so I've reined it back in again. And so I've done these instead. So still not exactly the same as Emma's because she's got flowers, whereas these are circles. Let's see if I can hold them up. I'm trying to do too many things at once here. I've forgotten what to do. Trying to have a cup of tea, trying to hold up a book, trying to hold up granny squares. I don't have that many hands. The guys on Patreon have seen some of this progress already. They know what's what because I showed it to them a couple of weeks ago when we had our chat. So a granny square that started off with a circle, then I've got a round of puff stitches, and then a round of that's 4 trebles together in a kind of mini sunburst pattern, because the original sunburst pattern has more, it's like more compact and there's more stitches involved in it, whereas this one is quicker to do. Then two rounds of normal granny. And so you have one here, and one here, And then I think, oh, I haven't even, I was just looking at the pictures of this design in the book. I haven't even read anything, which I should probably do before I go on to the next stage. My first attempt was different again, in that it was just going to be a rectangle joining in the middle rather than whatever. It doesn't matter because I'm not going to do it. I don't think it will take too long. I really don't. I've started. I have started crocheting down one of these sides. Where am I? I'm here. So yes, I will check out the pattern properly before I decide on how many rounds to do. I've got confessions as well. It's not a very exciting one, but I'm wearing false eyelashes because I couldn't bother to do eye makeup properly, and I bought them because I wanted to see what they would look like. As a general rule, there's only been one time that I've worn false eyelashes before, and that was at a fancy dress party when I was dressed up as Sally Bowles from Cabaret. So they were really big, really big false eyelashes, and every time you blinked it was like douche douche, and they were horrible to wear, whereas these ones are the most natural ones you can get. However, I haven't followed any instructions because they basically aren't any, but they're really hard to put on close to the lash line, so they're probably a millimetre or two away and look terrible, but I'm not wearing any mascara. I don't know. I'm not sure it's worth the effort. I just have horrible, rubbish eyelashes that just are so... I'm very envious of people that have beautiful eyelashes. I'm not one of them. I've got... They're like threadbare. And if I don't colour in my eyebrows, they're non-existent as well. Anyway, that's a conversation for another day, or no day ever. What I'm going to do is just do a few granny stripes, granny stripe rows up and down, and then join the two rectangles together under the arm and in here, and then there'll be a hole in the head, hole for the head, and you've got yourself a top, and it'll be a nice summery top. I've made it out of cotton because I have the cotton in stash left over from an old project. I am not a fan of cotton. I don't like using cotton in projects. I think it just feels uncomfortable on my hands, like it's got no boing. I like a yarn that's boingy when you work with it. I'm not sure if that's a great descriptor, but cotton has no give in terms of that, which probably means that it is quite good for garments, summer garments especially. And there's certain projects which, yeah, cotton is great for, but I'm not a fan. And am I trying to make myself a fan? I said I'd give it a go. I'd try it. There's also another couple of tops that I could make, and maybe try some cotton with linen, something like that. But again, I think that's going to be uncomfortable to work with, and that's my main reason for not enjoying using it. I think for bags though, it's perfect. You don't I mean, I've made bags out of acrylic before, and acrylic blends. It's alright for a while, but then it does not take long before they go really, really tatty. Yeah. So, a bag and a top, and actually, I've still got lots left. Lots and lots left. So I'm going to make another little, I don't know if it was the last episode or maybe one one or two before that, but I was making my mum a mobile phone case, and I'm going to make another one, and I'm going to use that for it. But I'm going to make a different pattern this time, I think. I was going to do it this morning, but I never got around to it. Yes, it is. I haven't told you yet. King Cole Cotton Soft DK. And as cottons go, I really like it. As it says on the label, it is indeed soft. Not rough like the cottons that I dislike. It comes in 100 gram balls. I think if you were to buy it, it's about £5, £5.50, something like that, depending on if you get it in a sale. It's got some nice colours in the range too. And I've got enough to do probably another bag or two with it. But I do have, I think I had 4 of this colour, so I know I'll be fine for the top. And I might make the top first before I do the bag handles, just so I know that I have enough at the top, because I'd rather have that finished than the bag. I'm hoping that in the next few weeks I will be able to just do more kind of for me projects without any sort of other agenda. You know, a break from commissions. I've got lots to do that I want to do and I'm looking forward to, and it's horrible when you can't do them because you have to give your time to something where you've signed a contract or agreed. For that I've been using for both of those projects a 4mm. Okie dokie. I'm going to take my hair down at this point because I'm going to show you my other thing, which you may have seen on Instagram and here. I did a tutorial for it. It also has a written pattern on my blog, but I thought I would show you as well. I made an hat. I should have brought up the leftovers. I do have leftovers. What I almost did was start making coasters. The coasters begin in the same way as the hat pattern. And then I was going to have loads of coasters around the house. But I'm not a coaster person, really. So I thought it'd be a fruitless exercise. What I may do instead is frog the coaster I made. Frog the brim of this one and then make it a bigger brim, because I quite fancy having a wide brimmed hat. I think I would have to change the stitch counts and the increases on the brim to do so, which is absolutely fine, easy peasy to do. It's just whether or not I've got the well, can I be asked? Because that's the question. Yeah, it's actually a really nice hat. And when I went and took photographs of it, and I went for a walk in the countryside and got the kids to take my photo, so I could have pictures for the blog. I wore it there and back again, and I wore it really comfortably without feeling like a tool. And it's a really wearable hat. Not anything silly or impractical. It's actually useful crochet. That's my favourite sort of crochet. It's useful crochet. I don't really like any kind of project where it's just going to sit there unloved because it's a stupid idea. Without naming any projects, I'm sure you've got your own kind of things that you think crochet is good for and things that people might make. I don't know, toilet roll holder. You know, that's just, I said I wasn't going to name any, but that's a ridiculous one. Why would anybody crochet anything to put over a bog roll? I don't know. Life is too short. Come on, people. So I'm sorry if that is your bag. It's not mine. I like crochet that's actually, if I'm going to make a garment, then I want it to be proper. If I'm going to make a hat, I want it to be a hat that I can wear without feeling like a divvy. The bag has to be a useful bag, one that you're going to walk down the street and not go, oh my god, everybody's staring at the stupidness of the bag. I'm pretty sure that's not really possible. Like, how garishly out there must a bag be for people to go, my eyes! But, you know, hopefully you get my point. It's actually really, for a sun hat, for keeping out the sun, I'm too hot in it. Is it okay for sun hats to make your head hot? Does the shading outweigh the heating up of the head? Yeah, I don't normally wear hats, so I'm not really sure. But that one, go check it out because it's a free pattern on my blog and there's a tutorial to go with it. Where are we? Yeah, just to end things on this hat, I enjoyed working with this raffia far more than I thought I would, and this is Wool and the Gang's Rah Rah Raffia, and it is really nice to work with. And as somebody pointed out in the comments on the video tutorial, it's very ASMR. Yeah, it's got a really nice kind of feel, and it's got a really nice noise when you work with it, kind of little delicately crunchy. Whether or not this one is the same remains to be seen, but seeing as this one is £14.50, which, I mean, if you think of it in terms of the finished item is a hat for 15 quid is a bargain. So if you think about it like that, then that's fine. But this one was £7. In between some crochet things I've been doing, you do also need a break sometimes. So when I'm in the mood for doing something different that's not crochet, or I've been doing too much crochet and you need to take a break, then I get the paints out. I bought some canvases recently, but my painting skills are a little bit, and the results of my paintings, which I'm never going to show anybody, they were too contrived. I'm still not there with the canvases, but I made everybody else in the family have their own canvas and get painting as well. But on just normal paper I also did some painting with some cheap acrylics I've got, and I did this. I have to hold it at a slight weird angle so you don't get the glare. But it's my granny prints again. This one's just for me, and I am not, it is highly unlikely that I would ever make copies for sale, purely because, let's hold it out, so you can see I've painted, some paper, and then I've got my lino print, got my lino inks, and I've printed my granny square cutout on the top, and then I've popped it in a frame, and it is eventually going to go on the living room wall probably. I really love it. I'm really pleased with it, and I bought a big giant frame from IKEA to do a big version as well. Not a big version of the lino thing, because the pack I bought, that's basically the maximum size lino thing that I can make with what I've got. I did do some experimenting. But I haven't hit upon a winner yet. They're not good enough, but it's fun to do, and I like painting. I need to try that some more, and actually I'm not sure that paper is big enough either. I need I might go for slightly larger again. I don't know. But it's just a fun thing to do. But like I said, it's not going to ever be anything that is a sellable thing, because when I did those cards that are, some of them are still in my Etsy shop, I considered them to be a failure. I had hoped that they would sell like hotcakes, but they did not. I sold a smattering, and I sold just enough to cover the costs of the project, and no more. I don't know why, because I thought they were really good. I love them. I wouldn't have done them if I hadn't loved them. So this is just for me, as a bit of fun and niceness. Oh, I've lost my notes. Oh, I've got a great big bag of yarn here that I'm going to show you, and it's gorgeous. Gorgeous yarn, and I've started a new project. When was I working on it? It must have been a couple of weeks ago now, when I decided, when the wool arrived, yarn, it arrived and I went, I have to do something with this, and I have to do something now. There was no stopping me. There was no willpower involved. It just, I had to start. I'll show you in a minute. It's very exciting. There's lots of things not being discussed today, because otherwise I would be here for about 3 hours, and I want to keep it not 3 hours. I want it to be about 45 minutes if I can. Hopefully it'll be around that time. There's lots of things that I've sort of had come in, like books. Somebody sent me a really cool book that I wanted to go over and talk to you about, but I might, whether or not it remains a Patreon video or whether or not I put it on YouTube for everybody to watch, I want to go through all my books, because I've got so many crochet books. I want to go through them all, just to discuss like the merits of all of them, and the ones that I find useful for design work, the ones I find useful for inspiration. One day. Before I talk about that whip, my very exciting whip, I also have the other thing that's quite exciting. I've never done it before, and that is, I've got a design that's featuring in a bundle. I don't know if you've seen bundles before. I think I've talked about one bundle before without really understanding how they worked. But now I've been invited to take part in one, I kind of get how they work and what it means. And actually, there's a hell of a lot of work that goes into organising these. Just from looking at all the behind the scenes toings and froings, wow, it's immense. And actually, I'm impressed. Really impressed with how it's done. Let me talk to you about it. I cannot do sales pitch stuff, you know that. So although actually even with this bundle that I'm taking part in, there's advice on how to market it, which like literally no stone has been unturned, everything has been thought of, it's so thorough, but I am pained to follow any advice, because any kind of sales pitch that I would give would suck. So I'm just gonna like give my honest thoughts about it so far, which that it is, oh my goodness, never had I thought about, I don't know, I know that from experience, from lack of experience, I have seen other people's bundles before and then gone, oh, I tell you what I'll do is I'll just buy that pattern directly from the designer so that they get the money, without really thinking about why they had taken part in the first place, which and probably is to try and make some money, because actually you do make a commission from each sale of the bundle you do. So when I went and bought directly from the designer, they weren't actually getting the perks of the bundle when I did that, which was a big mistake, and I didn't realise at the time because I didn't know. So basically what it is a bundle called Christmas in July, and it is exactly what you would think it to be, is that it is a bundle of crochet patterns that are all about Christmas. They're all Christmas themed, and it's going on sale on the 12th of July, which, if I have done this correctly, will be the day that this video is published. And if you watch this video, if you're watching it in the first few days of it being released, then you will be able to get this bundle because it's only available for 5 days, which is great. I didn't want to take part in a bundle that lasted more than that, because you do have to kind of invest your time in these things to make sure that, you know, you tell enough people about it on enough platforms and in such a way that hopefully somebody will go, yeah, I'll buy that. So what do you need to know about it? 44 patterns for $19, which is probably just under 14 quid. And the reason I said yes to it is because from the bundles that have happened in the she's called Nikki. Has my video stopped? No. She's called Nikki's Handmade Crafts, I think. I know she's called Nicole, but I can never remember her Instagram handle. That was what I can't remember. But I've seen other bundles she's put together before. The designers are always really top notch, and the patterns that go through into the bundle are always really good patterns. So this is why I actually said yes to taking part, was because the other bundles that have happened before are well impressive. The designs that you get in there, it's a really good variation of real crochet designs, not gimmicky novelty things that you're never going to use. So in this one you've got some brilliant garments actually, and you have got some great decorations, and which is what you want for Christmas, and things like stockings that are perfect, and they're nice ones. They're not horrible looking. They're all really sophisticated and classic, I think. And then you've got mine in there as well. Sorry. I've submitted my Christmas granny hat because that's what Nicole asked me to submit, and I went, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Sure, you can have that, no worries. But also because it's not just the granny pattern that's in that PDF pattern that I sell. It also has, you've got a granny hat that you can wear, Santa hat like, and then also a mini version, so you can make bunting from granny hats and have those as individuals to hang on your tree, or make it into strings that you can hang up somewhere, which is what I do every Christmas. It just feels so bizarre talking about Christmas in the summer, but actually it's a pretty good time because that allows you several months of making gifts up until the big day itself. I was going to submit the companion mitts to it as well, but those just weren't Christmassy enough, and Nikki went, no, I want the granny hat for sure. So I was just like, okay, have that one. But what I'm going to do instead is, if you go through my affiliate link, which I'll put in the show notes and I'll put in the description box below, that's what I'll do. If you go through my link, you get the companions mitts and cowl pattern as an additional bonus free pattern. So for like $19, that's a bargain. I'm not even going to talk about I think there's bonuses you can, there are other things, I can't remember exactly what they are, like giveaways and entry into competitions and stuff like that, but at that point I was just like, it's too much, it's too much, stop it. So if you want to go and check out what other things there are, just hit the link and have a look, if that's alright, that's what you want to do. But I actually am genuinely like, that's some good stuff, that is. So that's available for 5 days, go and have a look. Thank you very much. Right, let's talk about this whip. If I can think of other information to do with it, I will write a separate blog post as well, so you can go and have a read just to get all the other additional information. I think I'll do that. I might do it this afternoon, but it's already 3:38 on the Sunday, and I don't know where the time has gone. I really don't. What else have I got on my list of things to do before? Because there's some swatching for new designs I want to do as well at some point, but they're just going to have to wait a week or two. I haven't done as much as I had hoped, but that's because I just haven't... How many times can I say it? I just haven't had the time. Do you know, I don't know if it's MYPZ or MYPZ, MIPS, I'm not sure, MYPZ, MYPZ. I follow this company on Instagram because the patterns are fabulous. There's knitting and crochet designs for garments using floofy yarn. And I am making, hang on, I'm going to smush it all together. One moment please. As much as I can carry, I will. Look at this beautiful stuff. Isn't that amazing? Oh, my crochet hook, where's it gone? I have not done very much at all, and I want to be able to do more. This is going to work up so quickly. This strip I did didn't take very long at all. It might actually end up quite similar to a lot of the designs on their Instagram, but it's my own design because I'm doing a floof version of the Perfect cardigan, which I haven't talked about very much on here yet because I'm waiting. The Perfect cardigan, can you see, is there? That is now on Lovecrafts. And it's on Lovecrafts only. I have to wait another few weeks before I'm allowed to release it on other platforms as well. I got the yarn I got the yarn support. I applied for yarn support from Lovecrafts, Love Crochet, and they gave it to me, and the condition of getting the yarn for free was that it goes for sale on their platform for, it's either 6 weeks or 8 weeks as an exclusive thing. So that's where we're at the moment. We're still in that exclusive period, but so I'm hoping that, I was thinking maybe like the first week of August that I would release it on, I'm hoping for Etsy, Ravelry and Ribbler to release it on those platforms as well. And by when that date comes around, I'm hoping to have this finished, which is the floofy version. It's coming up quite big, so I've made a size smaller than that one, and it should be about right. But with all of these colours, which I just loves, it'll be good. I'm just going to do like basically a whole mishmash of different colours. At the moment it kind of, on screen it doesn't look like amazing, but in real life I look at it and I swoon. It's swoon worthy crochet is this, and it will look fabulous, and it might well shock people walking down the street when it's done, but in a good way, not in a shocking way, because it's going to look cool. People will stop me in the street and go, where did you get that from? Which is what has happened with the Perfect Cardigan, by the way. I think I said on Instagram, but I don't think I've said here because it's been such a long time since I recorded. But I went for a weekend away in Cornwall. I don't know when that was. It feels like ages ago, but probably wouldn't now. And I was walking along in my Perfect Cardigan and two young women approached me, and I literally was just like, oh God, I'm not from around here, I don't know where anything is, don't ask me. I didn't say that bit out loud, that's just what was going on in my head. And but before, they didn't ask for directions, they basically said, where did you get your cardigan from? I made it. No, I didn't say that, I said I designed and made it. And they went, really? Oh my God, that's awesome, it's gorgeous, oh my God, that's so cool. And I was like, thank you. And it made my day. I was really, really pleased. And then of course, even though it was about 25 degrees, yeah, it probably was that day, it was really hot, I wanted to keep my cardigan on because I wanted to be stopped again. It didn't happen. But and at some point I did have to take my cardigan off because it was ridiculously hot, and I'd eaten a pasty and I'd walked 6 miles, and by which point I was dead on my feet and very, very hot, so I had to take the cardigan off. But you know, it happened once, which is a good thing. I'm really pleased. So let's see if I can make it happen again with this mohair version. I guess it's a small business, so that's cool. And the label says luxury yarn from South Africa. However, I thought it was a Danish company. I thought she was from Denmark. Don't know. I would check my phone, but I'm using my phone to record on here, so I can't. But what else? So 78% mohair, 13% superwash wool, 9% nylon. Each of these is 50 grams. And it was about €9.50, which isn't too bad. I mean, it's a little bit on... It did feel to me like it was a big treat. And it's not... Yeah, it's probably, I would say, mid-range. Chunky mohair, this one is. And I just got the colours that I thought I liked more than anything, rather than being too deliberate in the choice. I just went for like that one, like that one, like that one, add to basket, and I bought them. My one criticism of the yarn, and it's not actually the criticism of the yarn, it's this label. It is stapled together, and so sometimes when you take the label off the ball, the teeth, the bendy bits of the staple catch on the yarn, which I don't think is particularly ideal. So you have to be careful when you take the ball band off. But that would be my only criticism at the moment, because I'm actually loving using it. I've had to go up a hook size as well, so that I can just see the stitches and where they go. So not only is the yarn... Well, I don't know. I was going to say, what was I going to say? I was going to say it was chunkier. It's called a chunky, so which is one of the reasons why I went down a size as well. But literally, when I started making it with a smaller hook size, I couldn't see the stitches. It's just, there's so much fluff in the way that you can't see anything. Everyone's so excited, just like people on the street, just being really chatty and vibrant and alive with excitement. I mean, I'm assuming it is the football and nothing else. With regards to colour sequences and stripe sequences, with this it is different to the Perfect Cardigan. I am just following my gut, and maybe it's kind of a Fibonacci effect with the stripes, but not a true one. But I will kind of try and follow some kind of, you know, single stripe, single stripe, single stripe, then go up to like wider sections just to play around with those colours. So I'm hoping that that will be a really quick project. I don't know whether to, now I've got it out, bearing in mind I haven't actually taken anything out of that bag for 2 weeks, I might put the cotton one away and start working on this instead. I could argue that it was actually a priority, seeing as that I want it done by a certain time. I also want to release, I think, the ticking mitts, which were in Inside Crochet magazine last year. They're due to be released so that I can give my Patreons the pattern for free, in certain tiers anyway. I'll leave Patreon links down below too in case you want to check that out. Recently we had a nice chat via Zoom, and then I've shared some other behind the scenes stuff as well. So when I had a sick day, I took a photograph of the project I was working on and all the books that I was going to flick through and find inspo from. I did flick through a couple of them, but not all of them. There's sometimes nothing quite like just sitting there looking at the pictures of crochet. That's it. I don't even necessarily read stuff, I just look at the pictures. I like that. And I think that's it. I'm not going to show you the granny go round jumper that I'm making that's by Iron Lamb, because you've pretty much seen it. I've made some progress on it, it's true, but not enough for it to be that much different. Literally cannot remember what I talked about in the last episode or the episode before, so if you... I don't think there's anything that I've ignored or neglected, but who can say? I did get some, I've got some swatches on the go with some John Arbon yarn as well, some Appledore and the Alpaca Supreme, which I remember showing you, but I'm not going to talk about that today because I'm not far enough in with those swatches for it to be anything to talk about, other than that the Alpaca Supreme I'm using is lovely, and the Appledore stuff, I'm not sure, I wanted to use it for a jumper design, but I'm not sure it's plump enough for the idea I've got, but it does make me go, I could use it for another idea. So I'm just sort of swatching with it at the moment to see how I feel about it, and I want to be able to wash the swatch and know what it feels like after washing it, because I've got a funny feeling it's one of those ones that will actually change after you've washed and blocked it a bit. So I might do some more experimenting before I talk about that in more detail. What else have I got? Anything? The Keysight Cal is still ongoing. I talked about that last episode, and it's related to quite a heavy subject, and I would like to apologise because I didn't give a trigger warning when I started talking about it last episode. For that reason I won't go into detail today, but if you did want to find out more about my Keysight shawl and what I'm raising money for, then please check out the previous episode. I think it might be one of the first things I talk about. And also there is a separate blog post, so I can add a link. But I'm raising money for 2 charities. At the moment, I think I've sold 82 copies of the pattern, with £4 from each sale going to charity. So £2 to one charity and £2 to another. And I would like to sell more than just 82 copies. Say just, that's still quite a lot. But if I could get it so that I'm donating, if I could sell another 18 copies so that I had 100 copies sold, that would be 200 quid to 2 different charities, which would be good, which would be lovely. So I'm calling it the Keysight Cal because I wanted it to be a crochet along that everybody could, so people could make it and get some support as they made it. I've seen some lovely versions, but I'd love to see more in all the different colours as well. Some really beautiful earthy tones have been used in shawls. I know some people are going to try using pastel colours as well, which I'm really looking forward to seeing. But there's no pressure on the people that have said they're going to make it or they've bought the pattern. There isn't pressure to make it in a certain time. But I think I was going to sort of do a cut-off point of the 1st of September as for the Cal stuff. But to be honest with you, it's so laid back it doesn't matter. It's not as if there was going to be any prizes for finishing by a certain time or anything. It was just kind of like to try and G up a bit of making of it, I suppose, to try and get more money for Chazzers. Chazzers. Yeah. I think that's it now. That's it. I can go and upload this and maybe edit it this afternoon if I can, so that I can then upload it tomorrow before the afternoon, so you get to see it for Monday afternoon, BST that is. Yeah, how are you? What have you been up to? You alright? You alright? That seems to be, I do that all the time, I think people get annoyed. You alright? Yes, I'm fine. Stop saying it. I've run out of things to say now, so I may as well go. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And let me know, let everybody in the comments know what you're working on. If you've got any crochet news you want to share, blah blah blah. You can do that in the comments below. I will try and be back sooner than that. This has been a big gap. For no other reason than I think it's just been so I don't want to like encourage that busy culture because I don't approve of it, but I have been well busy. Where are we? Let's see if I can maybe do another one before the end of July. Let's see. Don't know. Depends if I finish. If I finish some stuff, then yes, of course I'll be back sooner rather than later. But I don't want to also come back just for the sake of it when I've got nothing to share, because that would be futile, wouldn't it? Yeah, so see you again next time, I guess. Cheerio. Bye.